Good everyone, welcome to today's video. Today it's the part 2 of the promised premium look at, well, the premiums that I have in War Thunder. This is coming obviously after, well, it's going to be coming after the planes that I want to see, the premium planes video. I thought I'd split it apart so it makes it a bit more interesting, and then obviously we go from there. Now, straight off the bat, I don't have many premium tanks in War Thunder. Most of them I earned, once again. But I'll point out the ones I actually paid for, obviously. Now, the M24 First Armored Division I got pretty much for free. I got given 250 Golden Eagles. And I got this thing because I thought, well, it's either this or I could get the Hagiris A5M4. But then I thought the Stuart's fun. I like the Stuart anyway, so why not? It's exactly the same as the Stuart in the tree. It's just got this insignia of old Ironsides on the front glacis. And other than that, it's exactly the same. It's just a regular Stuart, really. So that's pretty much it for that vehicle. Next up's the T14. Now, I earned this in War Bonds around about a year ago, and the vehicle itself, it's pretty average. It claims to be a heavy tank. I wouldn't necessarily call it a heavy, I'd call it more of a fat medium. I play it like I do my M6, and it does work pretty effectively, especially if you angle the armor like this. Because then German 75mm guns can't overmatch your side, they can't pen here, and they can only pen here at around 400 meters, which isn't too bad. The front turret they will have more of a chance, but like I said, at about 400 to 500 meters they shouldn't have, or they should be able to penetrate. Side and rear turrets 100mm thick, which is absolutely amazing, and the turret mantler is actually pretty tough with a overlapping of about 130mm, making it near impossible for German guns to penetrate. It's got the same gun as the Jumbo, it's got the same gun as the early Shermans, and I like this gun. It's not very good in velocity, but it's good enough, and it's quite punchy at 4.3. Now we're coming on to the next vehicles. This the Panzer II DAC. I did actually pay for this thing. It was only 250 Golden Eagles. I just thought, well, maybe I could use it in a clubbers lineup, and I do sometimes use this in a clubbers lineup. It's a very nice little tank. I mean, it's a Panzer II. Who doesn't like a Panzer II? It's got a good gun, reasonable rate of fire with the gun, reasonable reload to say it's got a clip, good ammo capacity, and it's got reasonable armor for a light tank. It's a Panzer II. There's not much to say about it, really. It's a very fun vehicle to use, and I just really enjoy driving it because of how fun it actually is. The mobility is very good, the gun's very good, and you get an MG34. So you've got all the necessary tools you need. Just your side armor is very weak. 50 cals will cut right through. That's one thing to take into account, but your 20 will cut right through anything at this barrel rating. You will struggle with French tanks at reasonable ranges, but other than that, you should be perfectly fine. The next one is a vehicle that is very commonplace in the clubbers lineup, being the the king of clubbers. This is the Sonderkraftfahrzeug 140-1. Obviously, I can't say the 140-1 in German because I don't know that. But this vehicle I bought back in 2016. Well, no, sorry, 2017 when I passed my GCSEs. And I treated myself to this after I'd gotten my results back, did reasonably well, and I thought, well, what better way to do it than to get this? I got given 250 Golden Eagles for this. Well, in fact, I think it was 500 Golden Eagles included in the pack. I can't quite remember. But I got this, a couple of days premium time, a couple of Golden Eagles, which I spent on. I think that was when I bought the M24, or it might have been a Panzer II. I don't quite remember. But overall, it's a very fun vehicle. It's got good armor in most places. Some areas are weak to 50 cal, however, but it's reasonably well armored. It's reasonably fast. It's not got the best engine, or horsepower a ton, but it's got a Panzer II's gun. And instead of an MG34, you get an MG42, nicknamed Hitler's Buzzsaw, and it is amazing at cutting apart little trucks and small AA vehicles. Sometimes even planes, because this gun can go up to 70 degrees. It's a lot of fun. Excuse me there. If you don't have this vehicle, I highly do suggest it. And next up is the Operation Summer vehicle, which Gaijin basically said sorry to the tankers with. This is the Sonderkraftfahrzeuge 234-3. Unfortunately, this is going to be one of the last Sonderkraftfahrzeugs that we'll ever get in War Thunder, with only the -1, or the 234 to be precise, the -1 variant being the final option, which is basically a Panzer II's gun on this chassis. This comes at battle rate of 1.7. It comes with the Panzer IV C's gun, well, a rough equivalent to that. It fires AP, heat, HE, smoke. It fires anything you need. It's on a Puma chassis, so it will shift. And oh my god, this thing's a lot of fun. My first game in it was 6 or 7 kills, if I remember rightly. It's on the Digital Time Travelers channel. I'll link it in the description below. But this is a fun vehicle to drive. It honestly is. If you don't have this, you are missing out. I don't have the pack wagon, but I really want to get it. Now, the USSR, I don't actually have any premiums for tanks, so we're going to skip those. My only premium in Britain is the A13 Mark I 3rd Royal Tank Regiment. I got this when the British tanks first came out and had the opportunity to unlock this tank. I took the opportunity, unlocked it. It's a nice little tank. It's an A13. I mean, the armor's paper, but the gun, which is a QF2 pounder, is absolutely amazing. But it's just such a good tank. It's got good mobility, good power to weight ratio, and overall it's just a fantastic little vehicle. You can't take a hit, but you don't need to. Now I've got 2 tanks here with the Japanese. The Hago Commander, which I got once the Japanese tanks first came out. It's a nice little vehicle. I do like it. I mean, the smoke grenades are in an odd spot. They're on the left-hand side of the turret, which means you have to actually rotate your turret to drop smoke in front of you, which is a bit strange, but even so, it's a fun little vehicle. However, these look like smoke grenade launchers on the rear of the vehicle. I don't know if they are, but they certainly look like it. It's exactly the same as the Hago in the tree, it's just got smoke grenades. It's fast, it's got a pretty poor gun, but it will do the job, unless it's a French tank. And overall, it's just a fun tank. It can't take a hit from basically anything, but it'll get you where you need to go. Now to the last Japanese tank I have is the Chinu 2. I actually earned this one in War Bonds, and I was so happy. However, I was torn between this and the KV-1B, but then I thought, I don't really want a KV-1B because the gun is quite poor. Yes, the armor is amazing, but at the end of the day, when you've got Shermans firing APCR at you, your armor's nullified. So I thought, I'll go with something I know I'm going to enjoy. And oh my god, I enjoy this thing. The gun on this thing is absolutely amazing. It's the same gun as on the Cheeto, and it is fandabidoze. The armor on the turret front is actually pretty trollish because it's several 50mm segments overlapping each other. The frontal armor is flat, pretty much. The side armor is very poor. But it's a Chi-Nu chassis. You're not expecting world-class armor. It's reasonably good at getting into position, and once this gun starts firing, with its 155mm Penning shell, it will destroy pretty much anything in its path. It does struggle against angles sometimes, and it does struggle against jumbos, but other than that, you should have no problem dealing with what you face in this thing. Maybe even take it up into high tiers, that's what I see some people doing. Next up is the most recent addition to the Tank Tree collection, and that is the M1340 Series 2. You got this for 1 victory in rank 3, and well, I did it in the M24 Chaffee, got this thing, and I was very happy with it because it's another M1340, and at least it's better than the Series 1. Still don't get why that thing's got a lower rate of fire, but otherwise this thing's exactly the same. You just don't get the rear mud guards on the back, which personally makes the tank look a bit worse, in my opinion, but that's just my opinion. Otherwise, it's exactly the same. And now we're moving on to the final vehicle, which I have only drove a couple of times because I don't like it. This is the H39 Cambronne. Now the Cambronne you can unlock when the French tanks came out, and well, I don't like it at all. I got it for free as well as Palier's D510, and the Palliers is a good plane, as I mentioned in my plane premium overview. But this, no, this is not a good tank. Against the Italians, it's not too bad, but no, just don't bother with this tank. It's a cheap premium, but I got it for free, so yeah, just avoid the French tanks, the early French tanks, like the rank ones. If you need any more clarification on that, just ask Dark Angel. But anyway, that's it for my tanks and my planes. I don't have any premium boats, before anyone asks, or helicopters. Didn't buy any of those, but I thought this would just be a fun little thing for me to look over because half these vehicles I don't use anymore and they just gather dust. But I hope you enjoyed this little mini series that I've done in the form of looking at my premiums. And I'll probably go over vehicles that I have talismans on just to show them off and see what, and maybe even see some on the channel maybe. We'll see. But anyway, thank you all for watching and I will see you all on the next one.